Uber's CEO Travis Kalanick will take an indefinite leave of absence as the ride-hailing service tries to change its troubled culture. He wrote in an email to employees yesterday that it's to work on myself and to focus on building out a world-class leadership team.
Uber released a report yesterday by former Attorney General Eric Holder with his 47 recommendations for the company. Now, they include transferring some of Kalanick's responsibilities, creating new requirements to handle harassment complaints, and committing to improve diversity. Holder's investigation was prompted by a scathing blog post by former Uber employee, that's Susan Fowler, who alleged sexual harassment and mismanagement. CBS News contributors Jodi Kantor and Nicholas Thompson are here at the table. Jodi is a New York Times correspondent, and Nick is editor-in-chief of Wired magazine. Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Good morning, Gayle.
So let's set the tone, Jodi, if you will, for that board meeting, because Mr. Bonderman is saying that his comments were taken out of context. The talking he was trying to say is really a good thing. That's certainly not how it was interpreted.
Well, this was about the most extraordinary employee meeting you can imagine. As my colleague Mike Isaac reported, the former Attorney General has just investigated the company. They're saying that they're going to remake this company from top to bottom. There's a lot of leadership vacancy at the top. The CEO is about to take a leave of absence. The whistleblower who revealed the sexual harassment at the company is getting a round of applause at this meeting. And then a board member takes this remark, which is widely construed as sexist, which seems to kind of reenact the entire problem in the first place.
Well, in fact, Ariana Huffington announces that they're going to add a second board member, and she says there's a lot of data that shows when there's one woman on the board, it's much more likely that there will be a second woman on the board. And then Bonderman says, well, it actually shows there's going to be more talking. This is as they're promoting that they're going to change the culture.
But he's trying to say talking is a good thing, was he not?
Well, we can't know here what exactly he meant.
No, he's released a statement saying. No.
He has released a statement saying that. I think anybody who made that comment would have released a statement saying their comment had been misinterpreted.
Yes, yes.
But I think the greater point here is that it leads to questions about whether this company can really change or not.
Yeah. Well, they're certainly taking the steps to do that, are they not, Nick? Travis Kalanick is going to take a leave of absence. We don't know for how long yet.
Yeah, this is a massively broken company at the moment, and there are huge business implications to it. They have unanimously accepted the many recommendations from the Holder report, which basically will turn it into a completely different company. Right? They have been operating like a pirate ship for many years. They are now going to turn into something more like a cruise line.
Okay, but have they gained such a market advantage and market share that they can change now, taking advantage of what happened before, and create an even better company?
This is so interesting, and we're going to look back 10 years from now, because there is one theory that they have had a culture, they have had a style. It has worked up to this point. Maybe changing the culture won't work. Or maybe this is exactly the right moment, and this will actually be a great thing for Uber's business. And they will be a more responsible company. They will make more responsible decisions. It will be easier for them to recruit and retain people.
Having already achieved the market share.
And they've got the market share in the near monopoly, or not monopoly position, but a very strong market position.
Well, think about three groups of people. Think about customers. If you're a woman hailing an Uber alone late at night, do you want to associate that brand with rampant sexual harassment and misbehavior? Think about potential employees. If you want to come to work at this company, you're going to read that Holder report, and what conclusions are you going to draw about this as a potential workplace? And then think about investors. This company has a $70 billion valuation. It is a huge amount of money that now hangs in the balance.
Mm-hmm. What about some of the other changes that Uber plans to make? I mean, some are cosmetic. I mean, changing the war room to the peace room, which seems, I call it cosmetic for a reason, clearly. But what about some of the other changes that they're going to make?
So they're going to make, I mean, the war room to the peace room, I feel like they should have called it the strategy room. Like, the peace room was a little bit like overkill there. Right. So a lot of the changes will do with the way they rank employees, the way they measure employees, the processes they have for people to elevate complaints, the way they will recruit for diversity. It really is a long report about best practices for building a diverse and inclusive workforce. It actually is a really good document for any leader of an organization to read about the steps you need to take to build a good workplace.
Fascinating, though, that the whistleblower gets applause. When do you see that happening? It all started with Susan Fowler's blog.
It's very rare. I mean, something is happening right now. If you look at this in conjunction with what happened at Fox, we now see two major CEOs, kind of signature CEOs whose work had so much cultural value, who set the tone of major companies, who now have either had to resign or take leave of absences because of sexual harassment.
And I want to say one more thing about Uber. Yeah. They have this big problem, this big cultural problem, they also have a bunch of other lawsuits hanging over them, particularly the fight with Google over the self-driving car technology, which is absolutely key to their future. So they can solve all their internal culture problems, and they've still got a lot to go through.
Nick Thompson, Jodi Kantor, great to have both of you.
Great to be here.